Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt that what holds you back the most is something you cannot forgive yourself for? There is a hidden truth in your reflection that the angels want to reveal to you now. What is about to happen could change the way you see your past, your soul, and yourself. Stay until the end, because the forgiveness that sets you free is closer than you imagine. Beloved soul, there are moments when the silence of the house seems to echo louder than any sound in the world. It is in that instant that the heart listens to itself. The morning light seeps through the cracks of the window, and before the mirror, there is a tired gaze, not just from time, but from the memories that insist on remaining. The reflection shows more than lines and marks. It reveals stories. Each trace is a vestige of choices, joys, and guarded guilts. The being before the mirror tries to hold the gaze, but something inside is unsettling. An old, muffled voice asking to be heard. The air grows heavy, as if each regret had its own form and weight. The celestial guardians watch in silence, enveloped in a soft light. A serene energy hangs in the room, almost imperceptible, yet alive. One of them whispers, "There is a pain that comes not from the wounds of the body, but from what has not been forgiven." In that instant, the heart aches. The mirror seems to draw closer, as if it wanted to speak. The reflected image is not just of a face, but of a soul tired of carrying memories that no longer serve a purpose. Scenes flash through the mind, decisions that could have been different, words that could have been softer, gestures that were left undone. Everything that was said and unsaid merges into a single thought. What if I had acted differently? The messenger of light draws nearer. His presence is felt like a light touch on the shoulder. He speaks without sound, but with clarity. The past cannot be changed, but it can be healed. The being before the mirror feels tears forming. There is a resistance, a part that believes that to forgive is to forget, and to forget would be to betray one's own pain. But the messengers of light do not ask for forgetfulness. They ask for understanding. The reflection then seems to shine faintly, and for a moment, it is as if time stands still. The being observes their own image with more tenderness. There is a mix of sadness and compassion. The heart begins to understand that guilt is a form of imprisonment, a chain that can only be broken from within. The angels of understanding murmur. Have you ever wondered how much of your strength is being spent on keeping the pains of the past alive? This question hangs in the air like an inner mirror. Each painful memory is like a stone placed upon the chest, and now, a gentle voice invites, "It is time to let go." For an instant, the silence changes its form. It is no longer heavy. It is a silence of listening, a space where something new can be born. The being looks at themselves and realizes that, amid so much regret, there is also love. Love for people, for experiences, even for the mistakes that brought lessons. Guilt begins to give way to understanding. The mirror does not judge, it only reflects, and the reflection now no longer seems like a stranger. It seems like someone asking for affection, someone who deserves a second chance. The voice of the celestial messengers becomes clearer. Just accept what was. Forgiveness is not a reward for the past. It is a liberation for the now. There is a deep sigh. A feeling of lightness fills the chest. The being realizes they are still alive, and that in itself is an invitation to begin again. There is time to be kind to oneself. There is time to look at the mirror and see not guilt, but humanity. At this moment, the guardians of light approach. A soft breeze moves through the room, seeming to bring a new energy, a breath of hope. Their presence is serene, almost maternal. A silent peace envelops everything. And for the first time in a long time, the being does not feel alone. Before continuing, write in the comments the mantra, "I release and forgive myself." Now, continuing the message. With eyes still fixed on the reflection, the being notices something different. The lines on the face no longer seem like marks of fatigue, but paths traveled. Each wrinkle is proof that life has been lived, even if imperfectly. The guilt, which once seemed immense, now appears smaller before the greatness of being aware. The voice of the celestial messengers resonates one last time. What hurts you is not the mistake, but the attachment to it. Let go, and you will see that the mirror has always reflected more light than shadow. The being smiles, still through tears. Forgiveness, they now understand, is not a prize for those who erred, but a balm for those who desire peace. And in that instant, A new dawn begins within the soul. Beloved being. The silence that once weighed heavily now transforms into a space for something new. A presence that approaches with gentleness. It is like a breeze that touches the face, a serene warmth that comes from within. The being before the mirror feels their heart beat more slowly, and in this calm rhythm, a voice begins to form within the mind. It does not come from outside. It has no sound, but it is as clear as the morning light. "Forgive yourself," says the voice. "You did the best you could with what you knew at that moment." The words penetrate deeply. For an instant, there is resistance, a part of the heart that tries to justify, to argue, to protect itself. But the voice does not argue. It simply repeats, with the sweetness of one who knows the right time for healing has come. Forgive yourself, not because you were wrong, but because you are ready to stop punishing yourself. The being closes their eyes. Images arise like memories floating in a river. Moments of impatience, decisions made in haste, promises unkept. Everything that was once hidden under layers of denial now comes to the surface, not to condemn, but to be embraced. Each memory is like a wounded child returning home. The celestial guardians watch in silence. The energy in the room changes. It is light, golden, almost palpable. The voice continues, "You are not alone. Every mistake was accompanied by us, not with judgment, but with understanding. Because even in falling, there is learning." A feeling of tenderness envelops the being. For the first time, they realize that guilt no longer needs to be a constant companion. Something deeper is emerging, a new way of seeing their own path. The messenger of light whispers, "You believe that punishing yourself is the way to repair what was done. But punishment never heals, love does." The tears return, but now they are different. They cleanse. As they wash the eyes, they also wash the soul. The reflection in the mirror seems to change. It is the same face, but with a different glow. A gaze that is beginning to reconcile with its own past. The being takes a deep breath and asks in thought, "How can I begin?" The answer comes like a gentle wave. Begin by choosing peace. Tell yourself, "I set myself free." For a few seconds, there is absolute silence. It is as if even the air waits for the moment these words will gain sound. Then, the being speaks in a low voice. "I set myself free." And in that exact instant, something breaks. An invisible knot that kept the chest tight. The celestial messengers smile. The energy that was once contained begins to flow freely. The light all around intensifies. The inner voice continues. "There is nothing that love cannot heal. What has passed has passed. Forgiveness is the gift that the now offers." The angelic presence becomes closer, almost tangible. The being feels a touch on the heart, a gentle pulsation that envelops them completely. It is as if the angels are rewriting something within, replacing guilt with compassion, sadness with understanding, and a new message emerges, delicate yet firm. Forgiveness does not change what happened, but it changes the meaning of what happened. Let the past rest. It has already fulfilled its purpose of teaching you. In that instant, the room seems to breathe along. The light reflects in the mirror as if 1,000 tiny sparks were dancing in the air. The being feels the urge to give thanks, to acknowledge the strength that was always there. Quiet, waiting to be remembered. Now, write in the comments, 1111, to claim the energy of inner healing. And if this message has touched your heart, show your gratitude by clicking the super thanks button. This gesture helps this light reach other souls who also need to hear this message. The messengers of light continue to guide in silence, as if preparing the heart for something even greater. The peace that now settles in is not an absence of pain but acceptance. It is the beginning of a new kind of strength, the strength of one who understands that there are no failures, only paths. The being opens their eyes again. The mirror is still there, but now it is like a portal. The reflection smiles. The gentle voice returns one last time, leaving a phrase that will continue to echo. Forgiving yourself is the same as breathing again, after holding your breath for years. And, for the first time in a long time, the air feels pure. The breath is light, the soul tranquil, sweet soul. The morning transforms into a moment of revelation. The mirror, silent until now, begins to seem different. The light in the room shifts. A soft glow traces the outline of the frame, as if an invisible veil has been lifted. The being feels a slight shiver, not of fear, but of recognition. Something within knows the time has come to look at what has been hidden for so long. The reflection, once ordinary, begins to move with a life of its own. It is no longer just an image. It is a gaze that returns truths. There is tenderness, but also a loving firmness. The mirror reveals fragments of stories, laughter that time has erased, words spoken without thought, broken promises, silent goodbyes. Everything that was swept into the corner of memory now emerges, not as an accusation, but as an invitation to understanding. The messengers of light are near. Their presence is felt like a faint hum in the air, a vibration of peace. One of them speaks in a soft tone. Do not run from what you see. Forgiveness is born when you have the courage to face the reflection and still choose to love. The being takes a deep breath. The images continue to surface. Moments when they hurt others, when they pushed people away, when they didn't listen. There is pain, but also learning. Each scene is a page from a book that has always been open, waiting to be read with new eyes. The reflection changes again. It shows not only mistakes, but also gestures of kindness, sincere attempts, hugs that healed for moments. The being realizes that life was never just about falls or guilt. There was always love, even in the flaws. The celestial guardians project a golden light upon the mirror, revealing that the past is not an enemy, but a teacher. In that moment, a strong emotion takes over. The being approaches the mirror and touches the cool surface. The sensation is strange, almost magical. It feels like touching their own soul. The reflection smiles. The tears return, and with them a wave of relief. Something is being healed. The inner voice returns, firm and compassionate. Everything you did was an attempt to love in the way you knew how. Now, learn to love in a new way, starting with yourself. The being closes their eyes and feels the old weight dissipate. Each painful memory transforms into light. The heart expands, and a phrase comes naturally to the lips. I accept who I was, and I choose to be peace. The celestial messengers vibrate in harmony. The air seems lighter, the space more expansive. Forgiveness did not come as a shout, but as a whisper that dissolves centuries of guilt in seconds of understanding. The reflection now speaks with clarity. There is no one to blame. Not outside, not inside. There is only the choice to move on. The being understands. The mirror is not a judge. It is a portal. Looking into it, they see not the past, but the path to the present. The light grows, enveloping everything. There is beauty even in the scars. Every mistake transforms into learning, every pain into wisdom. The messenger of compassion approaches and says, look at yourself with the same eyes with which you forgive others. Only then will the mirror show what it has always wanted to reveal, the purity that was never lost. The being gives a slight smile, still through tears. Acceptance replaces judgment. The heart calms. Now they understand that forgiveness is not an event, but a state. It simply happens when there is space for truth. The celestial light intensifies. The reflection begins to glow with soft colors, gold, blue, white. It is as if the mirror itself is becoming a field of living energy, reflecting the renewed soul. Before continuing, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. This helps the angels continue to send you messages of wisdom and light. A sense of gratitude fills the room. The being feels the urge to thank the messengers of light and does so in silence, with an open heart. The mirror responds with one last gift, an image of themselves smiling, serene, free. And then, a soft voice speaks the blessing. The angels are sending you a special sign. Your lucky number for today is 7. Write in the comments, I receive the energy of the angels. My lucky number is 7 and I am blessed. I send love and protection to the person I love. If this message has touched your heart, show your support with a super thanks and help spread this light. The being takes a deep breath. The reflection fades, but the peace remains. The angelic presence gently recedes, leaving in the air only the echo of a certainty. Forgiveness has already begun. The mirror, now silent again, seems to smile. The being feels lighter, as if they had returned something to the universe, and in exchange, received calm. The heart beats to the rhythm of gratitude, and upon leaving that room, there is a phrase that vibrates in the depths of the soul. The reflection does not show what was. It shows what can still be. Being of light, the night arrives silently, and the mirror reflects the soft glow of a lit candle. The air is calm, almost sacred. The being approaches and notices that something has changed. The The reflection no longer carries the same rigidity as before. There is a sweetness in that gaze. An old weariness seems to have vanished, as if the soul had rested after many years of internal struggle. The messengers of light are present. Their energy envelops the room with a deep serenity. The air vibrates with a loving presence that does not judge, only embraces. The being feels their heartbeat lighter, and amidst the silence, hears that inner voice again, calm and firm. Now is the time to release what still binds you. Guilt is no longer necessary. It has served its purpose and can depart. The mirror begins to illuminate. Gradually, the reflection transforms. The being sees a younger version of themselves, with the sparkle in their eyes of someone who still believed in new beginnings. The reflection smiles, and with tenderness, speaks without moving its lips. You forgot me for a while, but I was always here. I am the part of you that believed in love, peace, and hope. I am here to remind you that nothing was in vain. The tears flow, warm, liberating. The being extends a hand and touches the surface of the mirror. It is a symbolic touch, as if finally accepting what they once avoided looking at. The reflection responds to the touch with a golden light that spreads slowly, filling the entire space. The voice of the celestial messenger echoes softly. Forgiveness is born when the soul recognizes itself and its imperfections and still chooses to love. It is the love you offer yourself that heals what the past has wounded. The being takes a deep breath. A wave of emotions runs through the body. It feels as if old memories are being cleansed from within. The images that once hurt are now seen with compassion. There is no more judgment, only a silent understanding that every mistake was an attempt to get it right. The reflection transforms again. Now it shows loved ones, familiar faces, encounters, and farewells. Everything the being carried as resentment or regret. The celestial guardians envelop each memory in light. The being understands that each of these connections had a purpose. Each one brought a lesson that helped them grow. With tears in their eyes and a soft smile, the being whispers, I forgive you for everything, for not knowing how to do better, for being so hard on myself, for forgetting to love myself. In that instant, the reflection responds with an intense glow, and the entire room seems to breathe in unison. A lightness takes over the heart. The being feels the weight that had accompanied them for so long dissolve, leaving only a sense of peace and wholeness. The angelic voice returns, loving and welcoming. You were forgiven from the first moment you wished to understand. Now walk lightly. The past has fulfilled its mission and can rest. The being smiles. The mirror shines like a field of stars. For the first time, the reflected image shows not weariness, but serenity. The soul is at peace. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself, whom you wish to forgive. Visualize each one of them and say, I forgive you and release you. May peace be with you. Feel the lightness and freedom that forgiveness brings. Repeat this practice every day to strengthen your inner peace. The light in the room continues to pulse gently. It is a living presence, a silent blessing. The being remains before the mirror for a few moments, just feeling the energy that circulates. The celestial messengers slowly withdraw, leaving in the air the soft fragrance of something new. The inner voice leaves a final phrase, like a reminder engraved on the heart. Forgiveness does not erase the past. It transforms the way the past lives within you. The being closes their eyes. The heart is light, the face tranquil. The mirror, which was once just a reflection, is now a symbol of reconciliation. There is a serene smile, the smile of someone who has at last found themselves again. The wind blows through the window and extinguishes the candle. The darkness is no longer a threat. It is rest. The being understands that the light they were searching for has always been within, and for the first time in a long time, the soul is silent. A silence full of peace. Beloved being, the dawn approaches slowly. A golden light enters the room and blends with the soft glow coming from the mirror. The air is light, and there is a sense of new beginnings in the air. Everything seems to breathe in harmony. The being awakens with a peace they have not felt for a long time. The body is still the same, but the soul no longer carries the same weight. Something has profoundly changed. The messengers of light are nearby. Their presence is subtle but unmistakable. It is as if the entire space is infused with a vibration of love and serenity. The angelic voice emerges, sweet and firm. Now that forgiveness has been born within you, healing can flourish. The being approaches the mirror once more. The reflection smiles with gentleness. There are no more tears, only gratitude. The mirror seems to radiate life, reflecting not just the physical image, but the inner light that has been rekindled. It is as if the angels have lit an invisible flame within the chest, a spark of unconditional love. The celestial messenger touches the being's heart. The touch is not physical. It is a wave of warmth that spreads throughout the entire body. The energy is so deep that the being feels the desire to surrender completely to it. Each heartbeat becomes a silent song of gratitude. The voice of the celestial guardians speaks in unison. You are not alone. You never were. Even in the moments of greatest silence, we were here. The pain made you believe you were lost. But love has always accompanied you. These words echo and transform into soft tears that flow without pain. The being feels a vibration in the air, as if every particle in the room were alive and embracing them. The love of the celestial messengers is felt so tangibly that it seems to fill every empty space in the soul. The mirror now shows different images. It reflects small daily gestures that had been forgotten. A shared smile, a sincere hug, a look of affection. Each memory is like a ray of light, a reminder that love never disappeared. It only fell asleep behind worries and guilt. The angelic voice draws closer and whispers, "Forgiveness is the soil where love is reborn, and love is the true healing. All you need to do now is allow it to continue growing within you." The being takes a deep breath. The heart vibrates in harmony with the light that surrounds them. There is a sense of surrender, of complete trust in the invisible presence that guides them. They close their eyes and for a moment feel as if they are floating in absolute peace. The energy of the celestial messengers intensifies. It is a silent symphony, a melody that needs no sound to be heard. The being understands that forgiveness is not an end point, but the beginning of a new story. A breeze enters through the window. The sound of the wind seems to carry invisible words. The past is healed. The present is your altar, and the future is a fertile field for the love that now blossoms in you. The being opens their eyes and smiles. The mirror is still there, but now it is just a symbol. The true reflection is within. They touch their own chest and feel the pulse of life, feeling that each beat is a silent prayer. Share this message with 2 loved ones who need this hope and faith. Let's build a chain of love and support together. Leave a comment with a prayer for your guardian angel. The room fills with a pure white light. The being feels that something greater envelops them, a presence so welcoming that it makes all fear disappear. The touch of the angels is real, and the heart recognizes it. The celestial messenger pronounces with a serene voice, "You have been reborn. Now everything you touch is transformed. Where there was guilt, there is compassion. Where there was shadow, there is light. Where there was pain, there is peace." The being lifts their head. The gaze is calm, deep. The soul is awake. The touch of the angels is not just a blessing, it is a reminder. With every breath, there is love. There is purpose. There is continuity. The messengers of light slowly recede, leaving one last vibration in the air, a kind of soft melody that continues to echo within. The being closes their eyes and feels in the deepest part of their heart that they are complete. The mirror reflects the new glow of the soul, and the morning arrives in silence, bringing with it the promise of a life guided by peace. Beloved soul, the dawn awakens gently, bringing with it a new clarity. The light passes through the curtains and rests upon the mirror, which now reflects not just a face, but a renewed soul. The air has a different scent. It is as if every particle of the morning announces that something profound has been transformed. The being rises slowly. They walk to the mirror and observe it in silence. There is a discreet smile, a serene glow in their eyes. What was once pain is now learning. What was guilt has become wisdom. The reflection no longer returns the weight of the years, but the gentle radiance of understanding. The messengers of light are near. Their presence is felt like the soft warmth of the sun. One of them approaches and speaks in a calm, welcoming tone. The forgiveness you offered your own heart has opened the doors to freedom. Now it is time to live what is new. The being takes a deep breath and feels their chest expand. The air seems lighter, more full of purpose. They realize there is a different energy within. A simple desire to live, to smile, to do good, to be at peace. The inner voice that once blamed them is gone, replaced by a serene whisper that says, "You are ready." Outside, the song of birds fills the room. The sound of life is perceived once more. Everything seems to vibrate in harmony with the inner state that now inhabits the heart. The mirror reflects this new beginning. The marks of life are still there, but now they tell a story of overcoming, not of pain. The being runs a hand over their own face, and feels the texture of their own courage. The hands which once trembled with regret now touch with gratitude. The celestial guardians remain there, observing. One of them manifests, and their voice brings a message of encouragement. Forgiveness is not the end. It is the first step of a new life. Go and live. Do good. Bring peace where there is confusion. The love that dwells in you has been rekindled to illuminate other souls. The being smiles. They feel the impulse to do something different. They pick up their phone and write a simple message to someone they haven't spoken to in a long time. There is no explanation, no need for justifications. Just a simple, "I am well, and I hope you are too." The lightness of this action is indescribable. The heart expands even more. The celestial messengers smile. They know that true forgiveness manifests in small actions. It is not a speech. It is a state of soul, and when the soul changes, everything around it begins to change too. The mirror, now, reflects a light so clear, it almost blends with the brightness of the sun. The house feels alive. The silence is no longer empty. It is peace. Share this message with 2 loved ones who need this hope and faith. Let's build a chain of love and support together. Leave a comment with a prayer for your guardian angel. The being closes their eyes and feels the warmth of the sun on their skin. It is a gentle touch, almost like a blessing. The voice of the celestial guardians echoes again, bringing a simple and powerful truth. When you forgive yourself, the entire world changes around you. The peace you cultivate within becomes the relief the universe spreads. There is a moment of silence, a silence filled with gratitude. The being sees themselves as small before the greatness of life, but not in a sad way, rather with humility and reverence. They realize that being alive is a sacred gift. The reflection smiles back, and this time, it seems the mirror is also at peace. The past has dissolved. The present is an embrace. The future is a blank page, ready to be written with love, kindness, and faith. The morning continues, but something within remains untouched, a constant center of light. It is the place where the soul and the angels meet. The being understands that forgiveness is more than an act. It is a way of existing. And in this understanding, the heart opens again to the simplest and most profound miracle of all, to live in peace. Dear soul, the day continues in serenity. The sun is high, but within the heart, there is a light even more intense. The mirror before the being seems different, almost transparent. It no longer reflects the body, but the essence. The gaze that once sought forgiveness now simply gives thanks. The celestial messengers return, enveloped in a white light that fills the entire room. There is a deep silence, but this silence speaks. It communicates something that needs no words. Everything has been understood. Forgiveness has been accepted. Love has been restored. The being approaches the mirror and, for an instant, sees not only themselves, but all the people who have crossed their path, all the faces that once brought joy, pain, learning. None of them awakens sadness anymore, only gratitude. Each memory transforms into a small ray of light, joining the others until it forms a continuous glow. The voice of the angels resonates like a soft chant. Forgiveness is the key that opens the door of the soul, and when that door opens, light returns to dwell in your being. Now walk in peace. Wherever you go, carry the goodness that has been reborn in you. The being closes their eyes. A sense of divine presence envelops them. The body relaxes completely. The mind grows quiet. The heart, so long heavy, now beats lightly. The love that once seemed distant reveals itself as something that has always been within. The celestial guardians continue to speak, and their words sound like verses carried by the wind. Do not fear what is to come. The past has no power over you. What you have done was merely a bridge to what you are becoming. Love is your home, and in it, you will always be safe. The mirror begins to transform into pure light. Gradually, the physical form disappears. The reflection dissolves into brilliance. The being understands that they no longer need to seek outside what they have already found within. The presence of the angels grows stronger. It is possible to feel the warmth of the light touching the skin, penetrating every cell. The messenger of hope approaches and speaks with tenderness. Forgiveness does not end here. It is renewed each new day that you choose to understand, that you choose to love, that you choose to be peace. May your light inspire other souls to free themselves as well. The being feels tears flowing, not of sadness, but of reverence. Each drop is a silent thank you to life, to love, to the angels. The soul is at peace, the heart in harmony, the spirit awakened. The entire room vibrates with a tone of harmony. The celestial messengers intone a blessing. May the love that healed you spread wherever you go. May your presence bring comfort and your words bring light. You are part of the peace that the universe so greatly needs. The being kneels, closes their eyes, and whispers, "Gratitude." For an instant, everything becomes still. It is as if time itself bows before the simplicity of this gesture. The mirror disappears completely, leaving only pure clarity. The soul understands that life goes on, but now in a different tone, softer, more conscious. The light all around expands until it fills everything. The sensation is one of returning, of unity with something greater. The voice of the celestial messengers bids farewell with a promise. Even when you do not see us, we are with you. When you doubt, remember the mirror. It showed not only your image, but the reflection of your own light. The being offers a serene smile. They feel part of the infinite. The heart beats in peace. And in that instant, in absolute silence, the angels envelop everything in love, closing the message with an invisible touch of eternity. The light shines one more time. And forgiveness, now complete, transforms into a blessing. If this message touched your heart, write in the comments, "I choose to forgive myself and live in peace." Consider supporting us. Subscribe to the channel. Donate. Share. This gesture helps this message reach other souls in need of spiritual support. The angels pray for you and await your presence in the next video.